Bonjour. उर्दू आमोजिश में हमारी जानिब से आप सबको खुशामदीद. Welcome to Ourdou Aamozish. In today's video, in our 5th lesson, Sabak 5, we will cover possession and verbs, Malkiyat or Af'al. On y va? Now, let's learn the possessive pronouns and the possessive adjectives. In Urdu, both of them are the same, but they're different in English and French and other languages. So an example would be my is the adjective and mine is the pronoun, but they're both the same in Urdu. And previously you have learned the subject pronouns, which are called zama'ir-e-shakhsi or zati ism-e-zamir. We will now learn the genitive and possessive case, which is mawzaf-e-aliyah. The possessive pronouns malkiyati zama'ir are also used with the verb to have in Urdu. So for my or mine, it's mera, meri, or mere, and it changes based on the object. For you, for your or yours informal, it's tumhara, tumhari, and tumhare. For his, her, or hers, it's iska, iski, or iske for informal, and unka, unki, and unke for standard. Note that unka, unki, unke, and uska, uski, uske are used for people who are further away. And they become inka, inki, inke, or iska, iski, iske when they are nearby or more close to you. For our or ours, they are hamara, hamari, and hamare. For your or yours, they are aapka, aapki, and aapke. For their or theirs, it's unka, unki, or unke, and inka, inki, or inke. Now, the first word there, as I said, is the adjective, and the second word, theirs, is the pronoun. Here are some examples. Chand misal. The door of the room, kamre ka darwaza. The store staff, dukaan ka amla. Their parents, unke walidain. Azan's car, azan ki gari. Your children, aapke bacche. Reminder that ka, ki, and ke, which you could roughly translate as of, changes based on the noun's gender and number. Now here are a few more advanced examples. Your friend is at work. Tumhara dost kaam par hai. His friend is not at home. Unka dost ghar par nahi hai. Our room is small. Hamara kamra chota hai. My room is also not very big. Mera kamra bhi zyada bada nahi hai. The front door is closed. Samne ka darwaza band hai. The closet is not open. Almari khuli nahi hai. What's his name? Unka naam kya hai? Your car is quite fast. Aapki gaadi kafi tez hai. Now, let's do some practice. Complete the exercise by using the adjectives and possessive pronouns you have studied to translate the questions and sentences on the left. Here are two words that you will need to form them. Place of residence is Rihaish Gah, and photograph is tasveer, and plural is tasavir. If you would like corrections, you can simply leave your responses in the comment section below in Roman script, or if you're feeling more comfortable, you can also type them in Urdu script as well. Okay, we finished the practice, mashq. Now here are some Typical responses. Aam jawabat. What's his name? Unka naam kya hai? His name is blank. Unka naam blank hai. Their photograph is beautiful. Unki tasveer khoobsurat hai. Our home is quite large. Hamara ghar kafi bada hai. Her parents are young. Inke walidain jawan hai. You noticed how it changed from unke and inke to express that they are like nearby instead of far away. His car is not old. Unki gaadi purani hai. Here's an example of it being unki because gaadi, car, is feminine. So that's why unki and purani are also in the feminine because of gaadi. Unki gaadi purani nahi hai. To say, is your place of residence near? Kya aapki rihaish ka nazdeek hai? This is kind of a formal sentence. You can also say, aapka ghar nazdeek hai. That would just be a normal way. Is your house near? We hope you're well. Hum khawishmand hain ki aap bakhair o aafiyat hain. This is also formal. It would literally means we are wishful that you are with wellness. Now we will study the verb to have. Paas hona. The verb to have in Urdu is a compound verb with paas equaling near and hona meaning to be. Here is an example. Hamare paas pani hai. Our near water is, which means we have water. Now this is usually used more for objects, like pani is water, which is an object. So to say I have, mere paas hai or mere paas hai. So the only two conjugations for hona is hai or hai based on if the object is singular or plural. So mere paas pani hai, I have water. But you can say mere paas do anak hai. So that takes hai because do is two and you're saying I have two glasses. So eyeglasses. So mere paas do anak hai and mere paas pani hai. So for you informal it's tumhare paas hai or hai. To say he, she is iske paas or uske paas hai or hai for informal. And it also means it has. For standard, it's inke paas or unke paas hai and hai. Then for we, it's hamare paas hai or hai. And for you have standard, it's aapke paas hai or hai. And they have it's inke or unke paas hai or hai. Now, here are two examples. So, first, the singular example. I have one book. Mere paas ek kitab hai. I have two eyeglasses, or I have two spectacles. Mere paas do anak hai. So, you can see I've changed from hai and hai based on if the object is one or more than one. So here, as I said, hona only takes the it, that, and they, those forms, which are hai, and changes based on the object's number. So by now you know two verbs, hona and paas hona, and then you know a third verb in the present continuous, which is rehna. So now what we are going to do is we're going to do 10 verbs as your 10 first verbs to know in Urdu. So verbs 1 to 2 are simple present and verbs 3 to 10 are present continuous or progressive. So the first one is the infinitive. Masdar is hona and its stem or bunyadi hissa is ho for both like present continuous and progressive, and in future videos you learn that ho is also the stem for the indefinite present or the habitual present tense. For 2 it's paas hona, which is a compound verb. Then 3 is karna. Karna is like the second most important word in Urdu because so many verbs are based on karna and compound verbs. Then the stem for karna is just kar. For to go is jana and stem is ja. To come is ana and stem is a. To take is lena and stem is le. To give is dena and stem is de. To stay is rehna and stem is re. To put is rakhna and stem is rak. To buy is kharidna and the stem is kharid. So you just have to drop the na and you get the stem of the verb. So hona and karna and all, like many others, frequently function as light verbs for compound verbs or afal markab. Simple verbs also become auxiliary verbs, which are afal muawwin or imdadi afal. So an example is to be able to or can is sakna. So we'll learn this in future videos with simple present and the indefinite habitual present tense. But you just stick the stem. So kar sakna is to be able to do. A note is hona also has a progressive continuous form, but is used for to become amongst other verbs because there are also other verbs for to become. So, for example, I'm becoming ill. मैं बीमार हो रहा हूँ. Now, we're going to be covering some compound verbs. The ones we're covering now are noun plus verb, so the verb is a light verb. Urdu also have verb plus light verbs, which is not in many languages and is something you probably won't see in like sort of European languages. But right now we're focusing on noun plus light verbs, which is in almost all languages in the world. So as you might know, some verbs are not included because they're usually used in the habitual tense or they require object pronouns, and we're going to be learning that later in future videos. So for now, we'll be using these verbs. So to use is istemal karna. Now, just so you know, as of now, you only know the continuous present. So anything you will be saying means you to be using, like I am using. I am using the television. मैं television इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ. So anything for up till now, you know, is to be using, or to be waiting, or to be working, or to be trying. So we'll learn just to use, to wait, to work, to try, and etc. once we learn the indefinite present tense. So we did to use or to be using istemal karna. To wait is intezar karna. To work is काम karna. To try is कोशिश karna. And the verb to conjugate is girdan karna. And something that is conjugated or inflected is tasrif karda. So actually girdan karna is closer to inflect rather than to conjugate, but it's used for both meanings. Tasrif karda is obviously something that has been conjugated. Karda is a construction borrowed over from Farsi, like shuda, gum shuda is also, the construction shuda is also borrowed from Farsi. And then the to say conjugation or inflection, you can say girdan or tasrif, and to specify fail ki girdan or tasrif. Fail ki means of the verb. And some infrequent forms of to conjugate are tasrif karna and girdan. Like these are in dictionaries, but you don't really commonly see these verbs to conjugate, but it is something that you might come across. Now, here are some examples using verbs 3 to 10 in the present continuous / progressive tense, incorporating simple and compound verbs. So, to say I'm conjugating or inflecting the verb hona for masculine is मैं फाल हुना की गिरदान कर रहा हूँ मुज़क्कर. And I'm going to the store in the feminine is मैं दुकान जा रही हूँ मुअन्नस. And as you know, it becomes raha or rahi based on if the speaker is male or female. Now for we're going is hum aa rahe hain. He is taking water. वो पानी ले रहा है. This can also mean he is like getting water in the sense as he's buying it, and like as in if you're buying something you're getting it, so in that sense it can also be वो पानी ले रहा है. You are giving paper. आप कागज दे रहे हैं. My friends are staying in London. मेरे दोस्त लंदन में रह रहे हैं. Her parents are placing food on the table. उनके वालिदैन खाना मेज़ पर रख रहे हैं. So khana is food, one of the words for food. Walidain, as you know, is parents. Mez means table, and rakna means to put, to place. It can also means to keep. So yeah. Then you are buying a pen. Aap kalam kharid rahe hain. The infinitive ending or the fa'il mazdar ka akhri hissa is na. As I said, that's the terminaison infinitive. And just to note, in general conversation, the raha, rahi, and rahe can become in speech only, not in spelling. In speech can become contracted as ra, ri, re. So for example, I'm going to the store. मैं दुकान जा रहा हूँ. So instead of मैं दुकान जा रहा हूँ, it sort of contracts to मैं दुकान जा रहा हूँ, or मैं दुकान जा रही हूँ, or हम दुकान जा रहे हैं. However, you should focus right now on the standard way, which is raha, rahi, and rahe. But just for your information, you may hear ra, ri, and re. And there are other contractions that we'll go over in future videos that you might also hear. But for now, this is what you should be aware of. Now it's time for practice 2, mashq do. So complete the exercise by translating and using the verb to have in the simple present and verbs 3 to 10 that are both simple and compound verbs in the present continuous / progressive tense. Here are 4 words that you will need to complete the sentences in the exercise. Office, daftar. City, sheher. From, se. Color, rang. And if you would like corrections, leave your responses in the comments section below. Okay, now let's go over the exercise. Typical responses, am jawabat. I am buying a house. मैं घर खरीद रहा हूँ. He's working at the office. वो दफ्तर में काम कर रहे हैं. I'm going to the city. मैं शहर जा रहा हूँ. We're coming from America. हम अमेरिका से आ रहे हैं. He's taking extra time. वो मज़ीद वक्त ले रहे हैं. You're giving eyeglasses. आप ऐनक दे रहे हैं. She's living in Paris. वो पेरिस में रह रही हैं. He's keeping it or he's keeping this. वो इसे ये रख रहे हैं. I have 1 pen. मेरे पास एक कलम है. I have 2 colors. मेरे पास 2 रंग हैं. Now it's time for recap. So today we covered possessive pronouns and adjectives, malkiyati zama'ir or sifat. And we also did practice for adjectives and possessive adjectives and pronouns. Mashq, sifat or sifat-e-malkiyat. We did the verb to have, passons. We did verbs, afal. We did nouns plus light verbs. Ism, jama, halke afal. Then we also did practice number 2, which was on to have in the indefinite present and verbs 3 to 10 in the ongoing present. The use of simple and compound verbs was also covered. Mashq do pasona fe'le hal mutlaq और अफ़ाल 3 से 10 फ़ेल हाल जारी और वाहिद और मरहब अफ़ाल का इस्तेमाल. So this concludes our summary. Khulasa ikhtisar. I hope you all enjoyed this lesson. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Take care and see you next time. Khuda Hafiz and au revoir.